Okay, so I just wanted to give a few thoughts on Monaco Lap 1. I was thinking about sticking this into my roundup and thoughts video yesterday, but then I decided let's stick it in its own video. Just a very chat about the Lap 1 incidents and just like the boringness of the Monaco Grand Prix as well. So first of all, the Alpines incident down at Portier. First of all, definitely Ocon's fault. I mean, I think we all know that. Alpine have, Bruno Fami did talk about it on French coverage, I think it was. And he said Esteban's attack was completely out of line. It's exactly what we didn't want to see, and there will be consequences. We're going to make a tough decision. On the first lap at the Portier, it was not the place to make a move, leaving no room for his teammate. Some people seem to think Sky Sports was reporting that Ocon could be axed for the next race in Canada. There has been a little bit more idea coming out about that. It's been said that apparently Alpine could enforce a non-aggression pact between Ocon and Gasly. Ocon will not be dropped for Canada, but Alpine will prevent further incidents. I didn't think that Ocon would be dropped for Canada anyway. That seems a bit extreme, to be brutally honest, and Canada isn't a track where you really want to stick a rookie in, because it would probably be Doohan who did stick in, because, I mean, they don't really have any other options. You might think, oh, they could get, say Schumacher, but I doubt that will be possible because Le Mans is the weekend after Canada, so kind of rules him out. But look, looks like there is going to be consequences down at Alpine, and rightly so, honestly. Gasly was none too pleased about it. He said that clear instructions were not respected. He said to Sky Sports, "I'm just disappointed with Esteban because it shouldn't have happened, and for the team. We can't afford to have this sort of behaviour. We had clear instructions before the race, and this hasn't been respected. And you should never take that much risk to take both cars out with your teammate. I'm sure it will be discussed and we can't afford to have a similar situation in the future." To me, that kind of suggests that there was word said before the Grand Prix of something along the lines of either, for the love of God, Donna crash into each other, Donna race each other, or Donna be bell ends to each other on the opening lap. Okay, given it's probably Bruno Fami who would have been saying this, and he's French, I doubt the word bell end would have been used, but you get my point. And Portier isn't even the first time in the lap when Ocon tried to overtake Gasly. So let's take a look at the race start from Ocon's perspective. We're on board with Ocon here. He's starting in P11 on the grid. The 5 lights are on now, and they are out, and we're underway. Esteban Ocon with a decent start. He's pulling up alongside Gasly there, who's starting in P10 now into the first corner. Ocon's gonna have the inside line. He's getting a little bit bogged down behind the Williams car. Gasly gets the advantage. Ocon's still there in P11 as we make the run up the hill, up through Beau Rivage. And now Ocon, he's trying to go for it. He was a bit squeezed there between Gasly and the wall as Gasly now tries to go for it on Albon. And then, of course, we know how it all plays out. But, like, it's just the thing. It was just a little bit unnecessary, Ocon's lunge there, because as Martin Brundle said, you don't lunge your teammate in Portier on the first lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. You can overtake in Portier, but it's just not always that easy. Just go ask Jenson Button and Pascal Wehrlein about that. Well, you don't do that on your teammate, especially when you're in a position to score points and you don't have that many, and points are a bit few and far between for Alpine this season, Gasly still scored points, so that's good, but the 5-place grid penalty for Ocon, yeah, deserved, honestly. But how the hell do you penalise that? But you don't penalise Perez-Magnussen-Hulkenberg incident. It makes no sense how that wasn't penalised. Before there was no further action, they'd clearly seen it as a racing incident of, both parties could have done more. And you probably could argue that, Magnussen could have backed out and Perez could have squeezed less over to the right-hand side. But here's the thing. Kevin tipped Perez into that spin. I would say that is more on Kevin Magnussen. I've been saying Sainz is the luckiest driver on the grid in Monaco. Kevin also very, very lucky that they didn't investigate that further, because I think if they did investigate that, he probably would have been on a one-race vacation, and Ollie Behrman would be absolutely loving life, getting another shot in Formula 1. There was no need for Kevin to go for that. He should have backed out, because it's lap 1. You cannot win a race on lap 1. Okay, maybe not the best race to use that analogy with, because Leclerc kind of did win the race on lap 1, but you get my point. You kind of win the race on lap 1 normally, but you can definitely lose it. And Kevin definitely was going to be winning the race on lap 1, but he lost it. Perez lost it. Hulkenberg was an innocent victim and lost out. As I said, it could be argued, yes, Perez could have squeezed less over to the right, because he had drifted a bit over to the right there, went on that run up the hill, but maybe he thought Hulkenberg was a lot further alongside him than he actually was. But the matter of the fact is, it was Magnussen that tipped Perez into the spin. Honestly, grid penalties for Canada, for both Perez and Magnussen, that would have been fair, I think. 3 or 5 place penalty would have been fair, honestly. And yes, I say both. Because as I said, Perez doesn't exactly get away scot-free here. He did kind of drift over to that right a little bit. But at the end of the day, it was Magnussen that tipped him into the spin, and then boom, caused the crash. Apparently, a photographer who got hit with debris, but they were all okay, which is absolutely brilliant. It's great that everybody was okay after that incident, because this series of photos here I saw someone share is insane. Everyone was fine after the incident, which is the main thing. But how was that not penalized? It should have been. Maybe the stewards just don't want to give out a race ban, because that just wouldn't be a good look. I don't know, I'm not trying to put tinfoil hat on or anything, but maybe they're not trying to hand out a race ban, maybe they don't want to hand out a race ban because it wouldn't look good. I don't know, but there's no way Kevin's not going to get a race ban though at some point this season, because his points don't start running out until mid-March next year. Final few thoughts here, just on Monaco in general. Was the Monaco Grand Prix this year a good race? No. In terms of action. In terms of result, absolute 10 out of 10, love it. But look, we all came, the main problem with Monaco is the cars. Look, other series can overtake in Monaco. Formula 2 can overtake. Formula 3 can overtake. Formula E can overtake. Smaller cars, lighter cars. Except Formula E, I actually think their cars are either the same weight as F1 or heavier. Look, other series can overtake in Monaco, but Formula 1 can't because the cars are so big and heavy. One could argue all Formula 1's evolved, the traction evolved with it. If you think that, fine. But look, Monaco should not be dropped from the calendar. Part of the thrill of Monaco is also that unique challenge it presents. That it's the tightest circuit on the calendar, I believe, and that brings its challenges with qualifying. And you're always just a few centimeters from the race-ending barriers, and also in the race as well, trying to keep it going and keep your concentration up for 78 laps, managing tires, managing your pace, while just trying to keep it out the barriers, But hopefully cars will get smaller and lighter in coming years with coming regulation changes, which will help the problem. And just final thoughts on that. Comparing the Indy 500 to Monaco. This is the most pointless comparison I have ever seen, quite frankly. Nothing against the person who shared it. Honestly, nothing against them. But this is like comparing the latest smartphones to the iPod Nano, or apples and oranges if you prefer. And in this case, the Indy 500 is the latest smartphones and Monaco is the iPod Nano. You all know the latest smartphones, they're like mini computers. Then the iPod Nano. I had an orange iPod Nano 4th generation that my dad got me for Christmas in 2009, I think? I believe it was around about then, but regardless, I absolutely loved it. That was just a side note, but it was built for listening to music, If you listen to music on it, don't think it had Bluetooth or not. The 4th generation didn't anyway, I don't think. I think you could maybe play videos on it if you put videos onto it, but it was a music listening device, nothing like a smartphone. It's a weird comparison, but it kind of works, And yeah, color me shocked. A race held on a purpose-built circuit where you could easy go 3 or 4 wide, had more overtakes and more position changes from qualifying to the end of the race than you would have on the tightest, most difficult to overtake on track on the Formula 1 calendar. Well, just call me shocked, honestly. Of course Indy would have more overtakes than Monaco. That is the most obvious statement ever, and as I said, the most pointless comparison ever. If you want to compare an F1 race if you want to compare Monaco to any IndyCar race, I don't know, St. Pete, Long Beach, I don't know. I'm gonna go, there's my thoughts on the lap 1 incidents, and just some thoughts on Monaco in general. Ocon Gasly incident, Ocon's fault. Perez K-Mag Hulk incident, how on earth was that not penalized? I don't know, honestly. I think grid penalties for one or both would have been fair, honestly. But I'm gonna go. Let me get your thoughts on those incidents down in the comments below. Like, what do you think? Who would you say was a majority at fault in Perez, K-Mag? I think K-Mag was more at fault than Perez. Gasly, Ocon, I'm pretty sure everyone thinks that was Ocon's fault. But yeah, let me get your thoughts in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.